Hello and welcome back. I'm Natalie MacDonald and you're watching Sydney Direct. Now, we last caught up with OANDA in January at the IFX Expo Asia in Macau, launching their Australia office in May. My next guest is Managing Director of OANDA Australia, Lewis Cooper. Lewis, thank you very much for welcoming us into your office today.
Oh, thank you very much for having us.
No problem at all. Now, firstly, can you walk us through Australia and New Zealand's evolution as global FX markets?
Yeah, so I guess over the last 5 years, the FX market here has grown exponentially. We now today have around about 56,000 retail FX traders in Australia and New Zealand, and that's the fourth largest retail market in the world. And that's happened relatively quickly. So it's still a maturing market, I believe. And I think the reason for that is that Australian traders, they're very competent traders. We have the highest share ownership per capita in the world. There's a healthy derivatives market here generally. And I think that means that Australians are competent, they're early adopters of new products, and if they see opportunity, they are very self-directed and they trade new products fairly well, which is why I think we've seen such a big increase in market size here. In terms of the CFD market, which is kind of related, this is the biggest retail market in the world. So again, the movement from indices, share CFDs to the global FX market has been an easy step to take for the retail audience.
Now, in terms of regulation, the great regulation debate within the Australian finance market has now extended even to digital currency, Bitcoin, and the discussion of could and should that be legalised. How has this regulation discourse really changed the market landscape for you?
Yeah, so I guess in summary, we are looking at the Bitcoin opportunity. I think it's very interesting and obviously a hot topic at the moment. We've seen a lot of movements in the Bitcoin market and a lot of big swings, and our clients are attracted to that. They're attracted to volatility and they see opportunity. I guess the key issue, as you quite rightly said, is regulation. We are advocates of orderly, well-regulated markets, and retail clients at the moment are heavily exposed to the unregulated nature of the product. So, for example, Mt. Gox bankruptcy left a lot of clients out of pocket, and I think that whilst there's a lot of interest, I think until the market is regulated, OANDA I think will stay on the sidelines. However, the interesting thing about regulation is if you do regulate the market, will the people that are currently attracted to that market walk away? Because obviously a non-regulated market has its own opportunities. So it's an interesting development, but OANDA are very interested. But we're looking for an orderly, well-regulated market to be involved. And of course, we need to make sure that our customers want it.
How then did this prompt you guys to become involved with the Australian CFD Forum?
Yeah, so I actually helped set up the Australian Forum in my previous role, and I was the founding chairman, and at that time it was a very important initiative. If you look at the market share about 2 or 3 years ago when the forum was set up, the majority of the market were well funded, well managed and well regulated businesses, but there was a smaller contingent that were not as well regulated, not as well funded, and they were using client funds for hedging purposes, and that presented a risk to retail investors. And the idea of the forum was really to self-regulate the market and to a degree expose some of these risks to the retail investor group, and therefore I think it was an important step for the industry. Now that OANDA are here, and we've been here since May this year, because we're a globally regulated business, we have impeccable record globally in terms of regulation, it was a natural step for us to join the forum. The key issue with the forum is, which is well documented at the moment, and again a hot topic, is segregation of client funds. We believe as a forum membership that clients' funds should not be used by the provider for any purposes at all, but unfortunately at the moment legislation allows for providers to use client funds for purposes such as hedging, and we've all seen the impact of that in terms of the insolvency of MF Global a few years ago, which left a lot of retail traders here out of pocket. So it's an important subject, and we're hoping the legislation changes, and we're lobbying government as we speak about that change, because we think it's an important change to protect investors.
Lewis, thank you very much. And lastly, we're coming into the end of 2014. We're now going to be starting to look ahead to 2015. What sort of market conditions are you anticipating, and how will you be looking to drive OANDA Australia and your New Zealand through into the new year?
Look, I see market volatility continuing into Q1 of next year. I think we've got a lot of geopolitical events happening at the moment, and the list is growing. There's a lot of interest rate divergence looking to happen either late this year or early next year. And there is a real divergence in terms of economic growth as well. You have certain countries like the UK and US that are starting to grow rapidly, and other areas of the world, such as Europe, which are struggling with growth. So we expect to see volatility continue, which is a great thing for the retail FX market, because volatility is a friend of the active trader. In terms of OANDA, from our perspective, we just want to continue to grow here. So in 2014, I'm pretty confident that we'll double our client base in Australia, which is an amazing achievement given we only opened our doors in May. So we want to continue to invest more heavily so in 2015 because of the size of the market here. As I said, it's the largest CFD market, the fourth largest FX market in the world. We are particularly interested in the frequent trader segment. They actually represent about 72% of the overall trades in this market, and about a third of them are looking to switch provider, and we're already seeing the benefit of that intent. They like the execution, the reliability of the platform. Our analytics, I think, are unrivaled, and we're a global brand with a lot of financial strength, so there's a lot of stability in terms of trading with a company of our size. MT4 is going to be a focus. In Australia, around about 50% of FX traders use MT4 on a regular basis, and we have some fairly unique propositions in terms of the fact we build our own proprietary bridge to MT4, which creates a better pricing model and less latency. So look in 2015 for OANDA to increase the integration with MT4 and offer some more of our bespoke internal analytics on the platform. So that's a key area for us, given the high penetration of that platform. And finally, CFDs is a focus. So from the beginning of this year until today, we've increased our volume in terms of our overall volume percentage of CFD trading to 30% from literally nothing at the beginning of the year. And that just shows you the appetite for the global and local indices market and gold and precious metals and commodities within this region. And obviously, gold and commodities being a big part of the economy here. So we're expecting to continue to see the growth in CFD volume in 2015. Some global markets such as the US that are at historical highs, and people are looking to take advantage of that, and CFDs are a low-cost way of accessing those markets. So an exciting year ahead, I believe, and long may the volatility continue.
Lewis, thank you very much for your comments today. Certainly a lot more to hear from you guys throughout the rest of the year and into next. So thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome, Natalie. Thanks for having us and for chatting today. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Managing Director of OANDA Australia, Lewis Cooper there. For more exclusive interviews with industry leaders right here from Sydney, do stay tuned to Dukascopy TV. For now though, it's goodbye.